Okay, Shabana, so may I?
Yes, please.
All right. So, good morning, everyone. Today, the topic is self-love and why it is important. Okay. So, is this slide visible? Just give me a thumbs up or just show of hands, something where I know, okay, fine, it's visible.
Yes, yes.
It's visible. So what happened some time ago was people were experimenting a lot on, how the words affect us, how the emotions affect us, and the research is still going on. That is how positive psychology has come under trend. Now, my own journey has been a lot about self-work and evolving from a place of lack of confidence to now a certain level of confidence. So, this research that I'm going to share with you is all about the power of words and how it influences not only the mind, but our physical being. Before I start, my name is Lavanya. I am a clinical hypnotherapist and a trauma-informed life coach. I work with people one-on-one and I do group coaching. Intention is all about bringing more awareness on mind reprogramming, and how mind reprogramming can absolutely change the way you look at your life. And once you change the way you look at something, the thing that you're looking at also changes, and that is your perspective. So, coming back to the research, they basically created two groups, and those two groups were supposed to play Scrabble. Scrabble is a game where we use words, alphabets to create words. Now, one team was told you will create positive words like happy, bright, lit, so on. And the next group was told that you have to create only negative or dark words. So, like gray, old, tired. There's a list of words in the research. Uh, and this was the goal. So, one group is creating positive words and one group is creating negative words. Now, where this activity was happening, that place was placed at a certain distance from the main gate. Like you see in the picture on the left-hand side, that's not the actual representation. That is just to let you know that this is how it happened. Now, what people found was, the researchers found was that people who were playing and creating with positive words walked comparatively faster to the main gate as compared to people who came up with words like gray, old, and other words which are not that great, not that positive. Words are very powerful. And today's topic is all about self love. You know, from age 0 to age 7, when we were growing up, we didn't really have much control over our life, and there were a lot of instances in our life where we got a lot of labels: good boy, good girl, boy, bad girl, instances in our life where we experienced fear, stress, but we did not have the coping mechanism. Coping mechanism is basically something where you've been taught how to cope up with an issue. You may not get an outcome instantly, but you are taught that how to cope up with stress, depression, fear, anxiety, or anything that's basically hacking your growth. And when a person lacks these coping mechanisms, what happens is they live that pattern over and over again, not for 1 year, not for 2 years, but for years together, sometimes throughout their life. Self-love is the topic where we can have few activities, some knowledge sharing. You start to become aware of when you look at yourself in the mirror, what do you think about yourself? When you're failing or not getting there in your life, then how do you speak to yourself? Some of us have been called with words like fat, thin, dark. So, how do we bring in change where we stop using negative labels and probably come up with a positive label or get rid of the labels completely? So today's presentation is all about that. Bringing to your awareness, this is the first slide that we've covered. We focused on the power and research on words where negative words not only affected the mental realm of the person, but also the physiology, even their body. They were walking slower with negative words. So, before we go any further, let's do a small little activity here. What happens with these labels is Our mind is really fast. It has a huge capacity. Now, if you were in my workshop of meditation, I did show you a video of skin moving throughout the day, depending on the triggers that we have. 50 to 70,000 thoughts. The other day, I heard someone saying 10 lakh thoughts. I don't know how many labels, how many pictures, you've opened in your mind. Make full screen. Just give me a second, Vasant. I'm going to do that. Make it full screen. Okay. Yeah. So we are giving ourselves labels all the time. And if the labels are positive, fine. But if the labels are negative, or if we are focusing, most of us focus on because of we have this unconscious negative bias, our survival system, our nervous system that I had covered in my meditation workshop is naturally programmed for looking at triggers or threats from the environment. So there's a dominant style of thinking which is negative. When you work on yourself, it will gradually become positive. It needs time. Now, before we go any further, let's say if the battery of a human being is anywhere between 0 to 100, I now invite you to just consciously close your eyes, scan your body head to toe or toe to head, and ask yourself, how much of me is in me right now? And before you answer this question, I want you to just have a look on your last week, on your yesterday, on your last month. Just gaze through all these days, how you've been thinking about your money, relationship, well being, about your choices in life. And then just ask yourself, how much of me is in me right now? Now, this process is where the body will come up with a number to type the number in the chat box. And I will tell you then why this activity is important. How much of me is in me right now? Just scan your body head to toe. And then just share with me how much of me is in me right now. Because if you've traveled out with your thinking, then have you pulled yourself back? How much of me is in me right now? Shouldn't be very difficult scanning your body. Out of 0 to 100, Deepak, scan your body head to toe. Just glancing on your yesterday, last week, past month, how you've been thinking, the kind of schemas that you've opened in your mind, scan your body head to toe and ask if consciousness or focus had a number of 100, how much of me is in me right now? This is the activity. How much of me is in me right now? And share the number from 0 to 100, the first number that pops on the screen of your mind. And remember, 30 to 40. Thank you so much, Shabana. Anyone else? And remember, guys, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you go flat here, you'll be going flat everywhere. You have to show up for your own self, not for the trainer. How much of me is in me right now? Around 50. Thank you for sharing that, Deepak. How much of me is in me right now? So now, before I share with you why this activity is important, let's thank you, Vasan. Thank you so much. 50 to 60. You do notice if I had to do this for myself, I've just finished a training. I would say somewhere around 80, 90, a part of me still in that training. I am not at 100% as well. Now I invite you to place a command on your subconscious mind, that is your body, and say this: I pull all my awareness, my consciousness back into me. I pull all my energies from all these difficult thoughts, stress based thoughts. I pull all my awareness back into me. So you had something on the screen of your mind, and now, because the body always responds to every command you have, place a command, I pull my 100% energy's attention back into me. And I'll tell you why this is important. Also, notice how your body is feeling right now at 30, 40, 50, or 60. And when you start to call yourself back home in your body, how do you feel? I pull my awareness, my consciousness back into me. I pull all my awareness, my focus, my attention back into me. From everywhere. Notice how much of it is coming back from phone. Notice that how are you processing this command? Is it a visual that's coming back to you? Or is it like a sense that you're getting, you're coming back from various places? Or do you hear something? Oh, okay, yeah, I was thinking about that topic and I forgot about it. I left that schema, that idea opened. I pull my awareness, my consciousness back into me and repeat this command over and over again. And then let's reflect again. Now, what's the number on the screen of your mind? How much of you is in you right now? And why is this important? Notice how your mind feels, notice how your body feels. And this is why being mindful is important because, thank you, Deepak, thank you. Do you also notice something different in your body? Is there, how you were before, and it's 70 and 80, you coming back home within your own self? Are you sensing your body? Are you experiencing your body differently? Cut out from the outer world. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. So meanwhile, all of you guys, finish this activity. I want to open one more slide. I wonder if I have this over here. Just give me a second, guys. I am going to show you something. Why this activity is important. Why should you do this every night? Have you ever wondered, though we are discussing self love here, but have you ever wondered? All of us have been told to ensure that our affirmations, that some sort of mindfulness activity happens, at the end of the day. Because after that, you will be sleeping for probably anywhere between 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 to 6 hours, depending on your mental health, depending on your how long you can sleep. I want to show you something. There you go. I'm changing the slide now. Okay. This is the explanation on central nervous system and autonomic nervous system. Whenever you want to increase your self-love, autonomy, a part which has autonomy, works on its own, doesn't need any intimation and it starts to work where your heart beats, is the part which you want to reprogram. Let me read this out for you. Central nervous system is made of brain, that black thing that you see with the arrow on, and the spinal cord. The brain is the command center. You placed a command. You placed a command. I pull my consciousness back into me. It thinks, it plans, it rationalizes. Some of you guys are participating but not typing. You are coming up from your own space of mind. Now, when you placed a command, the autonomic system also started to participate because this part of us has no other choice but to participate in the kind of thoughts we are focusing on. The autonomic nervous system, the vagus nerve, regulates the autonomic nervous system. This nervous system runs throughout the body and is known as automatic system because it controls our body and our automatic processes, our quality of blood, our relaxation, our confidence, the way we throw our voice, the way we show up in front of the world comes from the autonomic nervous system. This part of you creates muscle memory. This part of you gives you a sense of well-being, positive anticipation. If you've practiced your craft enough, if you've been into coaching, if you've worked with a coach, you know how to change your brain physically, wire it differently, and then the anticipation from the life changes. When our consciousness is diverted, when our focus is diverted, if you remember from this slide, I did show to you that even the listening comes from a regulated nervous system. It's not a conscious choice we have. It's not a conscious choice we have. It comes from the space of nervous system. So you have to have activities of self-love, self-regulation to ensure that you build in a mechanism for yourself where stress no stress, corona no corona, you start to be in a place which is more relaxed, comparatively more relaxed, which predicts a better future. The power in the autonomic nervous system is, if you don't train it, it is so naturally programmed for scanning threat in the environment, for what's not working in the environment, because the autonomic nervous system focuses on survival. Now, reading it ahead, it is a feeling and the sensing part of your neurons, of your nervous system, that responds and reacts with your without your conscious awareness. So let's say if someone shouts right now, you don't have to put a command, okay, now I pull my consciousness back into me and let's look around. It will happen automatically. The nervous system, the autonomic nervous system, has the power to respond without logic. And why we do these kind of trainings, webinars, one-on-one coaching, group coaching, is to ensure that gradually your nervous system becomes learned, groomed, confident, poised, so that when you show up in your reality, you are a more resourceful person. How about having more confidence at your workplace? How about having more confidence, a feeling of, yes, I am something important when you are pitching to your clients? How about feeling more confident about yourself when you're selling something? All of this comes from your autonomic nervous system. This part of you is sensing, meaning there's action happening, sensing and feeling, and responds and reacts without your conscious awareness. The autonomic nervous system doesn't always respond to the brain's command. Now, how many of you guys have tried the change and it doesn't stick? Has it ever happened to you that, oh my God, I've been doing my affirmations now. I've been doing my visualization. And where's the result? I've been reprogramming my subconscious mind for more money, for more style. Where is the result? Now, till the time you combine activities which reprogram your nervous system, maybe taking out anger from your body, maybe taking out fear from your body, maybe, working on your freeze response, there's a very high degree of chance that you will not be able to reprogram your subconscious mind for anything that you desire. Now, quickly, let's look at the other slide. The central nervous system includes the brain and the spinal cord, acts as the control center of your system, known as the thinking rational nervous system. Your central nervous system thinks, plans, rationalizes. Autonomic nervous system, known as the automatic nervous system, runs through the nerves in the body, is regulated by the vagus nerve. So this part of you responds, reacts, feels and senses. It is your paradigm. It has your homeostasis and it holds on to ideas and schemas. So just give me a second. Shabana, can you hear me? I mean, like, is my voice audible?
Yes, yes, you're
Um,
very much audible, ma'am. Yeah.
okay, thank you so much. And I will just share a different, going back to the same slide now. Just give me a second. Yeah.
So you mentioned homeostasis and schematic. So can you please explain a little bit more on
So
that?
homeostasis is nothing, whenever it's just like a set point. Set point can be our earning, set point can be our weight. And I will share with you why the set point doesn't change easily. All of this coaching, all of this mind reprogramming training is happening because we want change in our life, right? We want to show up like a different person. But when we are so aware consciously, meaning consciously you can see me, but the judgments are coming from your perception, which usually are programmed when we are growing up. So, yeah. Now I have a question for you before we go deeper into self-love. I will show you a few pictures. Okay, can you see this picture, guys? I'm going to maximize the, yeah. Can you see this
Yes,
picture? There's
yes,
a lady
yes. But
bathing,
yes, yeah, this is
and
better.
then
This is
this,
better.
yeah, yeah. I have a question for you. And question ye hai, sawal ye hai. How many of you guys, while growing up, have seen your mom enjoying in the spa? Or when she had a difficult time with your dad, she went to a counselor, like on the right hand side, that's happening. How many of you guys have witnessed this? Yes or a no? You can even type Y or N
No, I
in the
haven't.
chat. Thank you for sharing that. Same here. So, Vinay, how many languages do you speak in?
I think
You,
4.
can you repeat that
4.
again?
It's 4. It's like Hindi, Punjabi, English, and Marathi to some extent. Yeah.
Acha. So Punjabi also. What was your mother tongue?
My mother tongue is Punjabi.
Punjabi. You do notice that just like the way you've learned your language, a lot of your belief systems have come from your parents.
Yeah, I can clearly sense that.
Okay. Now, when you look at this little baby, the unwritten CD, or maybe like if you think about past life, there's some, some part of it written, but most of it is unwritten. Even the name is given to the baby. This is the nervous system sitting in front of you right there. Now, this little thing doesn't have a conscious mind except for basic fears like fear of falling and fear of loud sounds. Basic two fears. Where are all the other fears? Confusion, lack of money, lack of happiness, lack of love. Where have they come from? This nervous system is still a part of you. The subconscious mind of the body is a set of nerves, responds, reacts, feels, and senses. A newborn can do that. However, to train the subconscious mind, it may take some time. And when the CD is heavily written, it may take even more time. Now, when you go back in time and when you look at yourself like this, like a little baby, most of us didn't have any choice. We just kept recording the language, the way parents were behaving around money. In fact, the way they enjoyed our life. Maybe most of our parents were not even enjoying their lives because they didn't know any better. People can have their personal attitude, people can have their own persona, but until and unless a person is not groomed, the expectation is very different from the life. The change comes from the baby part of you or from the part of you which has no judgment. This little being here has no judgment and will keep accepting, oh, this is gold, oh, this means luxury. But actually, nothing means anything. These are meanings that we've given to it. Everything is just a label. Now, when you look back into your life, I now invite you for a new activity from age 0 to 7, from age 0 to 15. What were few things, one or two things that bothered you that were like, I had a lot of fear of maths. So for my own self, I can say that I was really scared of maths. I felt incapable around maths. Uh, there was a high amount of self-doubt as far as, maths is concerned. Another fear that I had was of being bullied around because I did go through some manhandling. So always had a fear that I'm being taken for granted. And I felt very unheard. When you go back in time, as we are exploring schemas, schemas is nothing. Schema is basically an idea. It's a mental representation of a belief system, Vinay. So when you look back and when you focus on your current life, do you notice there is any pattern that your parents had and now even you have? Or you are kind of experiencing that kind of block? This question is to everyone, to Shabana, to Neelamji, to Basant. Um, all of you guys, you can just explore, just look back. What was your environment like? Did parents argue too much? How is your relationship right now? If your parents were arguing and then they held on to their grudges for a long time, um, certain expectations from husband and wife, if you do this, this means love, and if you don't do this, this doesn't mean love. Actually, nothing means, anything because all of us are different and all of us have different love languages. So as you reflect back, is there something that comes to your mind that you could work on? And remember, every age had 365 days. Some of them were high trigger events, some of them were like, normal days, some of them were even happy. But the problem with this part of you is nervous system is As I said, it's programmed for survival. It focuses more on where you feel incapable, you feel that you can't show up for yourself, or when you feel unheard, wherever it has to prove a point, or whenever it is scared, is the part it will focus on the most. So just glance through your life with whatever age you are at right now. Where are your results stuck? Is it money? Is it relationship? Is it health? And if you can, just type few things in the chat box.
I'm driving. Can I speak
Yeah,
my
please. Vinay,
points?
yes, please. Yes,
Okay,
go ahead.
cool, cool. So it's like in my area, it's like relationships, specifically when it comes to uh, the opposite sex.
Yeah.
Women. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. Uh, Absolutely, yes. So I considered myself like a very nice person who was very resourceful, doing a lot of things for my friends for free, probably even my husband, parents, but I was never really happy in my relationships, because another problem that happens with a low self-image or lack of self-love is you don't really know what you want and you can't draw boundaries. So this whole concept of self-image, self-love, really, initiated from this man called Maxwell Maltz. He was a cosmetic surgeon. He was doing a lot of cosmetic surgeries on people. And if you see the pictures here, you do notice that faces which have a lot of scars after operation, after the surgery, they've been fixed well. However, he also had clients where they had near perfect faces. They had money, but they were not happy. And that made doctor think that, okay, what's happening here? What's the confusion here? When a person has a perfect face, when people have money, how can they not feel happy? And how are they still feeling ugly? Because I have a news for you. Your beauty doesn't come from the face or symmetry that you have. Your beauty comes from the part of you, which is called your nervous system, and the labels that you've been given. It comes from your neurology, from your neural pathways, the kind of beliefs that you've either held because of a circumstance in your life, or things that were repeated, the words that were repeated to you over and over again. That repetition starts to cause an idea. And when we keep participating in that emotional impulse or that impulse over and over again, this is what happens. And once this happens, what you're looking at here are two neurons under the microscope that I've just give me a second. Maximize this. What you're looking at here are two neurons under the microscope that I've filmed. And if you wait really patiently, you'll be able to see them connecting to one another. So a set of neural pathways have come together. And what happens when they come together is they start to form files in your subconscious mind, which starts to affect your logic, your reasoning, your willpower, your deductive reasoning, because the subconscious mind has the access to your feeling and your senses. It's just a combination of pleasure and pain. So this is, one example that I do with my clients on one-on-one coaching program, where I ask them to induce enough pain, a decent amount of pain. And then I request them to visualize something that they've been very fond of. Favorite food, favorite clothing, favorite restaurant, favorite person. If the timing of the picture or what they're thinking matches with the pain in the body, guess what happens? The brain automatically starts to reduce the picture of what they're fond of. Why are these pictures important? And what really happens when the pictures go down, when they, increase in size? Well, in your mind, there are mental representations which can be accessed by the power of five senses. Out of that, visual, voices that you hear, the self-talk, that and feeling are very dominant in every human being. Now, the pictures that are large, bright, or towards front in our mind that we are not aware of, that we have these grids in our mind, are the ones we naturally take action towards. or when we are overthinking about a subject, they become bigger in our mind. We don't realize this because most of us don't really work with one-on-one coaches. Now the trend is increasing. There's a lot of change in, uh, uh, mental well-being of people. People are taking action towards their mental well-being. But what we don't realize is that when we have fear towards expressing ourselves or our self-love, where which the files got formed when we were growing up. So if you've not scored well, if you've not scored well, you are not, you don't deserve self-love. If Shannon, after some time. So yeah, so the associations are this. So if you've not scored well, you are not a good boy or a good girl, or the parent had some sort of, lack of love from their parents. You've been overloved, and now your definition of love or demands from other people, they have changed. So it's such a jinxed place, self-love. What truly is, I feel most of the people don't know because they don't really sit with their own self and understand what really truly is important to them. What happens when these neural pathways form? Your assumptions or associations start to change. When the assumptions or associations start to change, I'm going to show you a picture. Just give me a second. Not this. Yeah. You do see here there's an actual image, there's a reconstruction. The actual image is the physical image of the physical reality, the actual place, the monument. And the reconstruction happened with some sort of brain mapping tool. And just look at this picture right here, what you perceive and what your eyes are picking up. Now, the problem with wrong associations and wrong understanding of life is that the way you look at life, that's going to change. The kind of inputs that you have from your ears, that's going to change. Only if that person does so much for me, that is love. No, that's not love. That can be love. That can also be manipulation. So when the researchers were researching on this picture, they found that on the right-hand side, the physical reality, just a moment, guys, lost the flow here. Yeah, the physical reality is on the right hand side, what your eyes are actually picking up. And what amazed them was that how come what we perceive is so clear? Because the subconscious mind, the feeling and the sensing mind, will move forward when it has data which is predictable enough, meaning that it has information, which it can basically predict for safety. So imagine having that kind of variation in what the reality is and what you're perceiving, what the reality is, but what you're hearing from the inside. And it's only through self-love, it's only through reflection, it's only through sitting with someone else who knows more than you, or probably can help you reflect in multiple ways, in multiple perceptual positions, that these guys start to shift, the neural pathways start to shift. Now, when the neural pathways start to shift, your association with money changes. A lot of us can have a fear of earning a lot of money because we've been brought up with the belief that if you have too much money and a flashy car, you will be, you will attract evil eyes. Or some of you guys may have fears like, because you saw your probably one of your parents, squandering their money away with their relatives, you may have a belief like, oh my God, if I have too much money, people will come and take it from me. And it's just nothing with a file. The problem with the file or the benefit of the file is once you have your neural pathways in place for what you want, these neural pathways then again communicate through neurotransmitters and other functions of the body throughout your body. Your feeling around that changes, your belief around that changes, and the way you show up in your reality, that changes. So the change work has to really feel like pleasure, because only then your body will allow you to have bigger, brighter pictures and hear different tones. The tones change through reflection, through working with a coach, because now you've taken enough time to sit with one problem and start focusing on what's really happening here. And in that moment, what is the critical area, Deepak, is nothing, it's just judgment. So for example, if I tell you that by tonight you will have 10 sages at your home, or you will have 10 lakhs in your bank account, because our expectation has A lot of our expectation, logical reasoning has come from the way we were parented, the way we had our peers in our school, what has been taught to us in our college. A lot of us believe that we have to work hard for money. But there are a lot of people who, where, they have a very good earning family member and they're sitting and having the money for free. So the critical area is the part which has the judgment, which develops between 0 to 8. Now it says 0 to 8, but it can be different for different kids. Usually 0 to 12, where they are learning from their environment and they are thinking, oh, this is what it is. Meaning making part, judgment part is your critical area. Deepak, is that clear? For example, if you had to, differentiate between gold and brass, you have a judgment for that. You've been told, okay, fine. So you've been told what gold is like. You've seen what gold is like. You know what brass is like. And you'll use your judgment to, basically understand that. Unconscious mirroring is not something we have time for. I'm going to show you a quick video. So anyhow, coming back to Maxwell Maltz, guys, just reminding you again that beauty cannot decide your self-love. Having money cannot decide your self-love. Self-love is a daily practice of updating the way you see yourself, of updating the way, if you don't like your current reality, you start working towards that. Yeah. Now, let's quickly have a look at one more research. So, I happened to chance upon some research on self-love, and you'll be amazed, which of course I did share in my meditation workshop, and that was that when this research was being done on victims, that how these victims are being chosen, along with all the other reasons why the victims are being chosen, one very high reason was of lack of confidence. And how do you know a person has lack of confidence? With the voice? But let's say if the victim is not even speaking. So they smell a certain way that they are not aware of consciously, but their body language is also a little droopy. And it seems like we don't understand this, but from nervous system to nervous system, right when a person starts to speak, or just the tonality alone, we start to make our judgments. Can we trust this person? Is this person confident? If I give them a project, will they finish on time? So some of you may have had this experience where one of your, probably spouse, maybe your manager, or you just feel that people get onto your nerves. And it's actually not people. It's you on an unconscious plane where you are not aware of. You have all these ideas. So your tone matters, your breath work matters, the way you dress matters, and the way you show up matters. Imagine if you don't have a daily practice of self-love. Do you really think you are updating yourself? Or probably, working with a coach. So here is a quick video on muscle testing. I'll increase the screen size. Muscle testing is nothing, guys, but when we believe in something, we have a lot of strength in our body. And when we don't believe in something, we lose that grip. Along with that, even the words which are negative in nature, they start to affect our neurology and physiology. So this is a very old video, so I don't know about the clarity part, but
Here, hold this. Okay, just yeah, put your arm up.
Like here?
No, over here.
Over here?
Yeah, just one. Okay, okay. Now I'd like you to think of first of all, tell me your name.
Michael
Michael what?
Gorgian.
Is that the truth?
Yeah.
Tell me you're telling the truth.
I'm telling you the truth.
My name is,
Michael Gorgian.
and that is the truth. Okay,
That's-
resist me as hard as you can. Okay, and I'm going to just push down. Okay, so that's the truth. Now for just 1 second, just make up a name. But tell me that it's the truth. I want you to lie to me. What is your name?
My name is Ron Garcia.
My name is Ron Garcia. Is that the truth?
Yes, that's the
You're
truth.
telling me the truth?
That's the truth.
Say it again. My name is,
My name is Ron Garcia.
and that is,
The truth.
hold that thought. Hold that thought.
There you go.
You see the shift?
So
Can
what
you
just
see the-
happened in this video is when the person says their real name, there is a neurology for that. There is enough practice of that, and the body holds the stance. And when he lies and creates a name, which there is no neurology, there is no neurology for that, there is no neural pathways for that, the body is losing its stance. And let's see what else happens in the video.
Change in here?
Mhm.
You see a slight change in here?
Yeah,
Okay,
I
you're
felt
strong.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'd like you, I'm just doing that for a little.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, now I'd like you to think about someone. I'd like you to move over this. There. I'd like you to think about someone in your life that abused you, abandoned you, that did something to, without any details. I don't want to know any of the details. And you were hurt by it, and you're angry about it. And forget about whether you've forgiven them or not. I want you to just think about getting even with them. I want you to think about revenge. Okay, I'm going to get even with that person, no matter what. Okay, and put your arm on it. Can you hold on to that thought of revenge? Okay, I'm going to get even with that person for what they did. I'm angry at them. And hold on to that thought and just think. Resist me as hard as you can. And notice what's happening with your arm. Resist again, one more time. Think that thought. I'm really going to get angry. I'm really pissed. I'm really hurt. I'm going to get you back for that. Okay. And resist me as hard as you can.
So we will save our time as we have limited time, and I will show you one more slide. This I have shown you in my meditation workshop, and this slide I took from one of the EFT journals, where on the left-hand side, you see that the blood molecules or corpuscles, whatever it's called, from the droplet of blood, they're very constricted. The person had flu. And then they induced some amount of, EFT, emotional freedom technique. After few rounds of practice of emotional freedom technique, it has acupressure points, the vagus nerve relaxes, and then the vagus nerve communicates into all your important organs and brain that, I can breathe better, I'm feeling better. So after that practice, what you see on the right-hand side is the blood molecules have relaxed. Now, we don't realize this, but when we are under stress, when we lack self-love, our skin is a certain way, our energy levels are a certain way. We speak, sometimes we don't even feel like speaking and facing the crowd because the fear is so much. And all of these come from nowhere else but your self-image, the way you see yourself. Now, you cannot keep doing this variation every day for every event. When you have a self-love ritual, when you have a nighttime ritual or some sort of ritual where you remind yourself that I love myself. And in self-love, again, touching is very important. There's a lot of research on touch, that how the hands can help you visualize better, sense better. But at the same time, when you touch something and you say that my body, my feet, the sense of ownership starts to increase. This is very neurological, stuff in action. And what happens with that touching and owning up your body parts bit by bit is the labels start to drop. So it's not a beautiful face. It's a face which is giving me recognition, meaning it's on my Aadhaar card. It is on my passport. It gives me a unique identity. The voice is not good or bad. The voice is trained or not trained. And just like this, we have a lot of limiting beliefs. We have a lot of happy beliefs. All the beliefs out there are purely to protect us, the good ones and the bad ones. It's only through daily reflection, self-love activities to self-regulate your nervous system, your whole anticipation of future, the way you look at future, that starts to change. And when that starts to change, when you start to feel a little better, a little more safer because you have this self-love practice, the way you show up for life, that starts to change. The self-love will not only affect your own belief, and that is the belief for self, but the belief you hold for others and also the world. See, you can't give something when your own bowl is empty. Understand this. It's only when you feel confident about yourself, strong enough about yourself, can you give that love and confidence to others? Can you pass on that charisma to others? So you guys have any thoughts? You're thinking about something, do share it with me. Last one on the words today. Now, in last workshop, I did tell you that the words have the power to change gene expression. And Andrew Newberg is what I'm thinking, and one more researcher, they came together. And what they did was they taught people a technique that I teach in my coaching program to use words to change gene expression or the information stored in you. What they did was they placed, the people into this fMRI scanner. And under that scanner, they requested people to repeat one word consistently. One of the words out of those words was love. The other word was peace. And what they had to do was they had to repeat those words rhythmatically with a certain pace. Love, love, love. And do that for somewhere around 8 to 10 minutes. Now, what happened was absolutely amazing. Not only were people feeling the well-being throughout their body, when the research was being done, their gene expression also started to change. Words are so powerful. When you take time out for yourself, can be for money, can be for anything else, it won't come to you till the time you see yourself differently, till the time you feel yourself differently. In order for you to have more money, a love, or whatever, you yourself have to feel safer. Your neurology has to feel safer. And it's only when you feel safe, the way you show up in the world, that also starts to change. Your tonality changes. We can sound in such a way, we can literally create anger in people. We can create faith in people. We can create confidence in people. We can exhilarate. So when you practice self-love, when you have like this daily practice of something like, you know what, I did make a mistake, but I do want to love myself. Yeah, maybe I don't look that great. Maybe I'm huge. Maybe I'm fat, but I still want to love myself. You start accepting your own self. When you start accepting your own self, like I said, the way you show up, that changes. And when the way you show up, that changes, your whole experience of, reality, that's going to change. Before we end our today's workshop, let's quickly glance through a video from Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Had a woman that had her thyroid removed.
This is gonna, guys, this is gonna blow your mind. You have to be absolutely into this video, just few seconds and minutes, and this is going to blow your mind.
Had a woman that had her thyroid removed, surgically removed. And I know this is difficult even for me to accept. And bring a new thyroid back. We have the medical evidence for that. So I don't know any longer what the limit is. I think there's something really cool happening in the world when people believe in themselves.
Oh, CapCut. So in this video, what happens is Dr. Joe Dispenza is speaking about a lady who has got her thyroid gland removed. It has been removed. The gland is not there. And then how she goes into mindfulness practice, meditation, self-love, and even to Dr. Joe Dispenza's amazement, the gland grows back. It grows back. This has never happened. So with this, I'd like to end our today's presentation on self-love. The invitation for you through this training, through this presentation early in the morning is that maybe you are fighting with something in your current reality. What I want for you is just take some help and look at that problem from a different perspective. And be rest assured, when you start to take help, when you start to work on yourself, your reality will change. Thank you.
लावण्य मैडम एक क्वेश्चन पूछ सकता हूँ?
हाँ, प्लीज।
मैडम वो मसल टेस्टिंग वाला जो आपने एक वो बताया था ना,
हाँ।
तो एक बार बता देंगे वापस, वो एक्चुअली था क्या?
मसल टेस्टिंग कुछ नहीं है दीपक। मसल टेस्टिंग में क्या होता है, व्हेन मसल्स बेसिकली तुम एक काम करो, अभी मैं एक एग्जांपल तुम्हें करवाती हूँ। ऐसे हाथ कर लो, ऐसे, ये दिख रहा है मैंने कैसे किया है, इंडेक्स
Yes,
फिंगर और थंब को जोड़ लिया है। हम ये
Yes.
कह रहे हैं कि अगर हम झूठ बोलेंगे तो हम लोग कांप जाते हैं, डर से जाते हैं, हमारा ग्रिप कम हो जाता है। और वहीं जब हम सच बोलते हैं तो हम में ताकत आ जाती है। ठीक है, हम ट्राई करके देखते हैं। तो तुमने एक हाथ में ये ऐसे बनाया है, यू यूज योर इंडेक्स फिंगर एंड थंब, और तुमको कस के ग्रिप देना है। ठीक है, एक बार सच बोलेंगे, एक बार झूठ बोलेंगे, और इस ग्रिप को तोड़ने की कोशिश करेंगे। हुक दूसरा हाथ होगा। ओके, so for example, my name is Lavanya. My name is Lavanya. My name is Lavanya. My name is Lavanya. Lavanya. मैं पकड़ पा रही हूँ, मैं इस हाथ से ग्रिप पकड़ पा रही हूँ। अब मैं झूठ बोलती हूँ। My name is Deepak. Guys, my name is Deepak. Okay, now you try that. So you do that now, Deepak.
ग्रिप कम हो जाती है।
So what we are trying to say here is कि जब हम खुद को गंदा गंदा बोलते रहेंगे, सेल्फ लव प्रैक्टिस नहीं करेंगे, ये ग्रिप हमारा खत्म हो जाता है। और हमको लाइफ में ग्रिप ही चाहिए। कॉन्फिडेंस के माध्यम से ग्रिप आता है, ट्रेनिंग के माध्यम से हमारी सब्जेक्ट क्लैरिटी पे ग्रिप आता है। हमारा हेल्थ कोई इशू है, वहां भी हमको मेंटल ग्रिप कई बार चाहिए होता है। थर्ड स्टेज कैंसर, फोर्थ स्टेज कैंसर, वी नीड ग्रिप ऑन आवर लाइफ, एंड वी लूज दिस ग्रिप व्हेन वी आर कंसिस्टेंटली नेगेटिव, or when we don't believe in something. So let's say if you say that I want to earn at least 15 lakhs through training people per month, that won't happen if you don't have the grip, because a lot of you guys will, feel attracted to me purely the way I am presenting myself. Right, Deepak?
Yes, madam. Thank you. Yes.
So yeah, any other question? And by the way, did you guys like the presentation?
Yes, madam.
Yeah, thank you.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
Great
thank you, Shiva.
topic, Lavanya, and I've learned a lot from you, and I'm now overcoming my limiting beliefs, and I'm going to be a certified teacher. I'm sure
Congratulations.
I'm sharing my experience when I come back.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Uh,
Congratulations. May God bless you.
so there is a little bit negative, positive, but I'll sell it through.
Yeah, yeah. You are definitely sailing through. See, you are showing up, as far as I'm concerned, every time I've come, you are showing up for yourself. And when we are, as a part of a training, let's say even if your conscious focus is not there, you are recording.
It's just hypnosis has made me consciously positive actually,
That's
and
amazing.
Mavin also has made me consciously positive even way before I started hypnosis.
That's amazing.
I only started hypnosis in April, so yeah,
Yeah. I
and
wish you all the very best.
my face is glowing.
Yeah, I can see that. Yes.
Plus, because he covered the inner child, went back to the memories of 10 years old. So sometimes people hurt you, they don't realize when they hurt you is their wrong, not mine.
Absolutely, yes. And I guess the intention, I mean, I've had like 27 odd certifications, and I
Yeah,
did a workshop right now today morning, and I realized that it's never enough. Self-work is never enough because
yeah,
I have showed up very differently. If I can change the person who kind of destroyed my life, that was happening on an unconscious plane. They were coming from their space of fears and lack of understanding. They never wanted to hurt you. They themselves were kind of jinxed.
and last week I spoke on consciously positive about, no, I spoke on my other platform with Nupurji on maybe also on my separate platform on overcoming fear, and I feel so much better.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah.
When you feel about something, you have to speak directly.
Yeah.
And if I speak directly, some people get hurt. So that's why I'm direct.
Yeah. So we are, when you show up for yourself and when you speak on your behalf, when you're being assertive, you're actually doing favor to other person because the person who goes through, when we limit ourselves, we are actually making the God unhappy or the universe unhappy because
Eh,
all of us have absolute equal resources. So when you're being assertive, when you put your message out there, you're literally blessing that person because they'll stop or at least reduce making mistakes. You have to speak for yourself.
like last time I had my brother had said something hurtful, but immediately my dad was there, so immediately I sometimes it's good not to react. It's good to cry it out. React is good, but it's good to. I reacted a little bit, but cried a lot, but I felt better after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes they said crying is you're weak, you're this, you're that, but you know what? You just crying just makes you stronger once in a while,
Yeah,
occasionally, because
releasing is important. Yeah, I do.
you can't suppress your feelings of your inner child.
Yeah. As far as I know, crying is important because a lot of chemicals get released through protein synthesis. So crying is definitely important for health because a lot of unwanted information goes out.
Some people said, being happy is very important, being positive. I'm like, if you want me to be happy and, if you have nothing nice to say, just keep silent and just do.
Yeah.
Uh,
Sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
especially when the person's elder than you're elder than the person and the person's your own family. And even otherwise also. I've got good support, my father, caregiver, and
That's
everything.
nice to know.
But yesterday, my caregiver was off, so the bullying from my siblings started. And then somebody else was trying to interview me. Okay, you should be this, you should be that. I said I should be me, because here Coach Vinay and Dr. Shabana knows me, and they said just be yourself.
Yeah.
And I've been listening to sound healing also, a lot of things, and sometimes it's good. Too much Bani also, too much Gurbani also. You need that quiet time. Bani is also important, Gurbani also important, but you need sound healing and hypnotherapy.
Yeah.
I feel that 2 weeks one time hypnotherapy is good. He's
That's
now,
nice to know. You take it twice in 1 week, the hypnotherapy?
yeah, normally used to be once a week. Now he says I'm okay. He's dealing with my inner child.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what he did is dealt with all my pain, all my sinuses. Before I spoke to you, I think the last session my sinuses were blocked and all that things. You know? So it's very hard, but I'm doing it.
But you're doing the right thing, you're showing up for yourself. So well done.
Soon I will, after hypnosis, maybe I'll take quantum healing, which is Reiki from class from Nupurji.
Amazing. Yes.
Yeah, when I come back, we can organize another one.
Yeah.
So thank you very much.
You're
I
most
think self-love is the greatest love. Thank you.
yes. Thank you so much for the opportunity. So guys, do I take your leave? Shabana, are we done?
Yeah, thank you so much, Lavanya. It was a wonderful session.
So,
And you
Thank
did so
you.
much.
so can I
Thank
share
you.
something?
Vinay want to share. Yes, yes.
So, although there were a few calls in between, I could not attend the complete thing, but I could get the gist of how the source should be touched when you were talking about the self-love. I will definitely like to connect with you offline and talk more on that. And if Shavana allows, I would like to talk to you for about a couple of minutes and see what
Absolutely.
can
Yeah, yeah.
possible.
I'll share the contact details.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Lavanya. It was such an insightful session. Whatever I attended, it was an insightful session.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you.
Yeah.